Happy Friday, August 8th. I've got my computer right here so I don't mess up anything. I don't know all these things by heart. I am not an astrologist, but every August, the sun in Leo aligns with Sirius, forming the Lion's Gate, an energetic window that amplifies manifestation, courage, and soul evolution. Now is the time for us to reclaim our power, activate ancient codes of consciousness, and transmute fear into purpose and clarity. Basically, it means now more than ever, what do you want in your life? I know we're here to do more than just exist, right? Okay. Also, I've been awake since around 3:15-ish, and I have a very dear friend who has a direct connection to the angels. And she says between 3:30 and 5:30 is the most magical time to speak to the divine. And this means your divine team. Anybody in your life who has crossed over, who's no longer with you, along with your spirit guides, your guardian angels, and the divine themselves. And you can do it with your mind, you can do it with your mouth, whatever works for you. I do a bit of both. And lately, as I've shared with you all before, I've been on the struggle bus. And this is regarding my teeth. And I'm not quite sure what the divine is trying to tell me, unless it's because it's my teeth, it has to do with speaking my truth. That also involves the throat chakra, your heart. I realize lately I have been coming more and more into emotional connection with my heart, because after I went through my divorce, I kind of set up a barrier around me. I've kind of put a bubble around me. Call it protection, I guess. But lately, I've been affected by just anything, randomly, anything. I can cry at the drop of a hat anymore. And I'm becoming more and more emotional about my teeth. But as I've shared with you guys before, I've been in the dental chair as far back as I can remember, the age of 11. When I was that age, I think his name was Dr. Hunter. I can still see his office. I can still see the dental chair, and it's very old-fashioned. But they would just yank your teeth back then. In fact, even my mom, who was 20 years older than me and in the Air Force, and she said they would just yank out your teeth, rather than go through anything special. Just take it out. And I kind of have gone through the same thing. And my mom and I kind of went through similarities when it came to our divorces. She was married to my dad, who they met in the Air Force and didn't really know each other. And when you see another person dressed like you, pretty much in a uniform, you're kind of on equal par. She didn't realize what she was getting involved with. My father worked on the bomb squad. I don't know what that entailed. And my mom was a WAF, I'm not exactly sure. She was a stenographer, and she told me all kinds of stories, but one I can tell you right now is that Jimmy Stewart, the actor, was in the military, and he came through and sat on the edge of her desk, and she took dictation. And that was a pretty exciting thing. But what I'm getting to is our similarities in the kind of men that we married. From the time that I was a little girl, let me just say, I've got to tell a story before I get to the meat of what I'm going to talk to you guys about today, which is my teeth. And who was I writing about yesterday when I was doing my writing? Allow me to pull it up here. Gabor Mate. Let me do this right. Gabor Mate came through for me. Bear with me. Gabor Mate is a Hungarian-born Canadian physician who has a background in family practice and specializes in childhood development trauma. And I guess he spent a lot of time on the streets in a section of Canada with people who had substance abuse disorders. And his whole thing is trauma is real, but trauma is what you experience, and it's that experience that he just said it so perfectly, that I found so fascinating. I used to say that I am the result of what I've been through. And I could say the same thing for my mom. So you go through something traumatic, and it's through that what that trauma has created in you that you're dealing with. So my father is from the South, and for lack of better words, he was a hick. And I mean, I have a lot of charming memories of the South growing up, and it has helped me in my writing. And I've got, a book that I've been writing since I was 13. And the South has kind of influenced it. And they're just bizarrely funny ways that the Southern people and myself identify with life. But my father just did not know how to take care of his family. And I can recall my mother saying to him, I got to go to the store. I need money for groceries. This is when they were separated. And he would come over to watch us while she could go to the store. So she could go to the store. And he gave her $5. So the difference in her and me is that my husband took very good care of us in that respect. He took good care of his kids. He was a very good provider. And he's just a lousy husband. But anyway, that's another story. But I had very good dental insurance when I was married. And I don't want to say I took it for granted, but I guess I did. Because anytime I needed something done, I was able to get it done. And as I've told you guys, since my divorce, that's the first thing that gets yanked from you. Your benefits. Children, however, under the age of 18 are still provided for, thank God. So as a little girl, my father didn't pay for my braces. I had braces. And my mother, I think, if I can remember, her payments to my orthodontist were $25 a month. That was a lot of money. If you put $25 a month and compare it to today, I don't know how you would look that up. Let's see. I was 1971, 1972. Let me just see. 1971, $25. Today would be $25 in 1971 is equivalent to the purchasing power of $198.44. Well, my mom was a housewife, pretty much like I was, but I was also a yard duty, so I did make money when I was married. But she couldn't get help to take care of me and my two sisters from my dad. And so the orthodontist stopped working on my teeth and left me in braces. So I was in braces for, I think, 2 years, longer than I needed to be. I believe that this did something to me. And so today, now that I have my insurance through the state of California, because even covered California for me would be to the tune of $400 a month. That's outrageous for me. So I am covered through the state of California, Medi-Cal, Medicare, and I have coverage through Dent-Cal. And the name of the practice that I go to is Cali Dental. So long story short, I have been struggling with this dentist. My 2 back teeth need crowns. They are broken. They're fractured. And I started seeing this practice in San Luis Obispo about 2.5 years ago. And I know I need all this dental work done in my mouth. And all this time, my dentist is communicating with my insurance. They take x-rays of your mouth. to show them and your insurance what needs to be done. So the major part right now are these 2 back teeth that need crowns. But first, you need a root canal, because the fillings were old and the teeth, it caused the teeth to fracture. Because you drill into the teeth, you've got to have, it makes them weak. And I've had to have fillings. Well, the fillings got old and they broke off. And this dentist that I'm going to has been submitting to my insurance what is going on. And she's starting with this tooth. This has been 2.5 years. And instead of telling the insurance that this tooth needs a root canal, she's been submitting for a crown. Well, that comes after you have the root canal done. A root canal is just basically a rotor-rootering of the inside of the tooth, taking out the pulp, if you don't know what a root canal is. And through this plan that I have, you get your cleanings, you get fillings, and you get root canals. Maybe, I think you're allowed 1 or 2 a year or something like that. I've even said to her, pull the tooth, just pull it. She's told me she won't drill my teeth. She won't pull my teeth. So, after 2.5 years, I finally figure out, through the help of my insurance, because I went over her and called my insurance and talked with them and said, I need a root canal. And they said, well, it keeps coming back, it's coming back denial for a crown because you need a root canal. And I'm going, I've been so beyond frustrated, because I'd say I finally had the root canal done July the 3rd. It is now the 8th. Because it was finally starting to cause me problems. It was starting to hurt. Took a drink of coffee one morning, and the pain might as well have gone to the center of my being. That's how shockingly painful it was. And so finally, I got on the phone to my insurance and they explained this to me. I was so upset. And finally got the root canal done. But July the 3rd, she did the root canal, and then she went on a vacation she might still be on vacation. That was July the 3rd. It is August the 8th, and I've looked up how long you can safely go without a crown after having root canal. And they say 1, maybe 2 weeks, because that root canal has to heal. So a lot of these dental practices will do a root canal and they will put a crown on it sometimes within a day or 2 days. And that can be dangerous because your tooth has to heal. Well, I grind my teeth in my sleep because of stress, whatever. And when you are relaxed state, you can't control. So then they recommend mouth guards. All kinds of. And I've just been waiting. So I finally called up my insurance again yesterday after speaking with my friend who has the connection to the angels. And she said, Teresa, don't give up. Please don't give up. Talk to God, Spirit, between 3:30 and 5:30. And as I've told you guys, my eyes automatically open and I wake up and I'm awake. And immediately I'm talking. But before I started talking to the divine in my prayers, yesterday afternoon I called my insurance. And my insurance is denying me a crown because they don't feel a crown is validated. It's that it's necessary. And my frustration is with my dentist, who, number one, does not communicate well with the insurance. Last time, the reason it took so long to get approval for, I have a broken tooth here in the front that needed a little crown. She wasn't sending the x-rays. Flabbergasted to the nth degree. And so they assured me with this one, she sent the x-rays, but it was kind of, she submitted them a week and a half, or the office did because she was on vacation. The office submitted the x-rays a week and a half after I had the root canal. And now they're saying no to the root canal. And I called up my insurance yesterday and they told me this. And I said, why no crown? And she said, the girl that talked to me on the phone, I can't even remember the excuse she gave me. All I heard was, we're denying the root canal, or I mean the crown on your root canal. I hung up the phone and I thought, why hasn't my dental office called me? Why are they not communicating with me? And so I'm left with this. I'm just frustrated because I'm wondering what is going on? What is the divine trying to tell me? What is, by this going on with me? Having to wait, dealing with the pain of my teeth, the frustration with this dentist. And some of you guys have been so kind and you've reached out and you've said, get another dentist. Well, it's not about getting another dentist, because if I got another dentist, I would still have to go through the same thing. See, it would put me back to square one. So I need to finish with this dentist. She needs to do her job. She needs to finish, and she needs to communicate with me. And so I called the dental office yesterday, and I got the recording. We're experiencing a high volume of calls, and we cannot take your call right now. Leave your name and number and a brief message, and we'll call you back. Well, this was at like 3:30. And by 4:45, they had not returned my call. And after speaking with the dental insurance, I asked them, if you were me, what would you do? And they said, lodge a complaint. And I did. And they said, contact the dental board. And in 2 places in this office I go to is something about the dental board. Right at the reception desk, and when you go back into the examining area, there's on the wall as you're going down the hall. And so my second call to them was, you have not returned my call with anything about my root canal, my care, and now I'm going to contact the dental board. And here it is, 11:11, and I've heard nothing from them. And when I started praying this morning at 3:30, I saw over here 11:11. So I know the divine is listening to me. I know I'm doing the right thing. And so, as I've told you guys, don't get in and try to meddle and figure things out, because the divine has you and everything is working out as it ought to. But I figured, this is my teeth. It's causing me pain because I grind my teeth at night. I'm afraid because this has had a root canal, it's fragile. And I mean, what if I choke in my sleep from some of the tooth breaking off and going down my throat? I mean, I have all of these concerns, and it's causing me major anxiety. So I'm struggling with the fact that I'm in this position, and you guys know me. My channel is not about drama. It's about how I got from there to here and learned to deal and heal with and through the drama. And now this is something that I can't win. And it isn't that I want to win, I just want what I deserve. And that is to have, from beginning to end, thorough dental work. That's all I'm asking for. So we're going on 27 minutes and 40 seconds. Longer than I thought I would. But I needed to speak peacefully and calmly to you guys and let you know my videos have been sporadic. And when you're in tooth pain, how do you feel like painting, writing, much less doing a video to talk about it? And my good friend, Patty, said, go on the channel and talk about it. So here I am, sharing my story about my plight, about how the traumatic events have created a stress in my body, and this is how I'm dealing with it, which is finally come to a head because I just don't understand why. Because at this point, I've cried, and last night, I should say this morning early, I tossed and turned until I woke up at 7. I was so tired. 7 something. I think I finally drifted off. I can't remember. But I saw the number 1111, and then I saw the number 7. And when I let Eddie out to go potty, there was a big grasshopper by my back door on its back, barely moving. And I picked it up, and it upright really quick, and I brought it out to my butterfly bush, and it jumped away. That's a very good sign. So that's it. So today is the day to manifest. Be clear and succinct about what it is you want. But look up Gabor Mate. And let me see if I can find. Yeah, trauma is not what happens to you. It is what happens inside of you as a result of that trauma. And so this issue with my teeth. And the dentist I had before I got divorced and got different, I'm now with the state. Oh, she was wonderful. And she was one of those who could do a root canal and put a crown on your tooth in one appointment. She'd wrap me up with a nice fluffy blanket. She had me put my asthma spray right next to her so that if I needed it, she could help me administer. And yeah. So I guess it boils down to people have stopped caring and people have stopped going to medical school and dental school with helping people in their mind. It's get in and get out, all about the money. I'm not sure. So I can't fight about it anymore because I'm too tired. So I'm going to let you guys go and wish you a fabulous day today. And say, really think about what you want in your life. Be clear about it. Ponder it, meditate, write about it. I have my Pinterest boards and I post pictures. And I just want to be treated fairly and honestly because that's what I do. Leave your thoughts if you want. I don't even know how many people are going to watch this video, but I hope you do. Feel free to leave your comments, and happy Friday. I wish you all a great day today. Hopefully I will be back with good news when I'm back. Better news. You guys, peace out. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you.